Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, and we are joined as always by our favorite dietitian, April Sins with Rouses. Hey, April, how are you?
Hey, Keith, doing great. How are you?
Doing very well. And you know, my doctor's always recommending that I eat more fruits and vegetables, and there is no better time like the present.
Right. It's what we've been told all of our lives, right? It still applies. So we're going to have some fun in the kitchen this morning because I'm going to be showing you some hacks. And if you're not sure what a hack is, it's just something that's just going to make things a little bit easier in the kitchen. And this is having to do with fruit and veggies. And Keith, I'm sure you're thinking of some right off the bat that maybe you're doing at home as well. And I'd love for you to share that at the end of this segment.
Okay, I will.
So I'm going to share a few with you. So let's talk about some ways that we can extend the shelf life of produce, and also maybe some storage hacks, and also maybe some kitchen safety. So we're celebrating the roots of our food and all of the goodness of the fruits and veggies this month. That just all the things that it brings to the table, including it's good for our minds, our souls, our health and happiness. So did you know that people who learn a new fruit or veggie hack are more likely to have a plant more often? So that's why I thought this would be fun. So here's 5, maybe a few more actually, of some of my favorites. There's so many different ones, and you could find, we're seeing this trending a lot too. And so one is going to be one of my favorite kitchen tools and a great way to get kids in the kitchen as well. If you're not quite ready for them to start using a knife, you can always grab some scissors, and you can even use like the school size scissors if you need to. But I like to cut some things like green onions. You can also cut some of your leafy greens like that as well. But what I do is I'll wash the green onions all together, and then I'll leave them together, and then I'll cut them all at the same time. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with some of these to store them, because a lot of times I'll buy a pack of green onions, and maybe I might have a little bit too much than what I actually need for the dish. Right. So one thing I like to do is I like to throw these in salad if I have some extra. It adds a nice burst of flavor to a salad. But also you could freeze these. You can chop them up and freeze them, and then you'll have them ready to go whenever you're ready to use them. The other thing too is if you have the ends left and you don't know what to do with those, you can also make a bag to put in your freezer of some ends and pieces of your fruit or veggies. And that way you can make a vegetable stock later on down the road once you fill up your bag with some ends and pieces. I've been doing that, and I'm loving it because I'm not having to throw away a lot. So I'm using I'm using the opportunity to use the whole vegetable or the fruit. So I have these chopped up. But one thing you could do is you could take an ice tray, okay? And you could put these in an ice tray. You could put them in a freezer bag if you want to as well. And so I'm going to put these in this ice tray, and I'm going to also be combining some other ingredients with it. But another thing I wanted to show you before I finish with this ice tray is how to use a colander to take the leaves off of your oregano, or you can use it for thyme. Anything that has a stem with leaves on it. And so you take your full stem and then put it through the colander and pull it. Sometimes it's a little delicate and it might break. But what it's going to do is it's going to leave the leaves inside of the colander. Okay. And mine broke a little bit. But what it does is it leaves them inside of the colander, so then you have it ready to go.
That's ingenious.
And now what you're going to do, isn't that neat? Yeah. And then just put those in your ice tray too. So what we're creating some little cubes that we can use for seasoning. And so what you can combine with this is either some of your favorite Rouse's olive oil in there and freeze it, or you could take some unsalted chicken broth and freeze it as well. And then you could pop these out once they're frozen, put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you have some seasoning cubes ready to go, and making your cooking so easy. You just throw it in there whenever you're ready. Some other things I wanted to tell you about too is that there's some things that you could buy today and then use it in different ways over the next couple of days. One of my favorite things to talk about is fresh spinach. And the reason why is because sometimes once you open the bag, the spinach starts to get on a time clock, right? It starts to wilt and, and you're like, okay, wait, let me hurry up and use this. And so first day, you can use it for a salad. Second day, throw it in a stir fry, throw it in a casserole, put it in an omelet. And then day 3, if you need to save it, put it in a freezer bag and then put it in the freezer, and then you're ready for a smoothie or something down the road. Another thing too is don't forget to go to the frozen section. The frozen section is a great place to find some of your favorite vegetables and or fruits, and when it's not in season. So you can go to the frozen section, get those. But what I love about these is this is some Tommy's superfoods vegetables. And what you could do is cook these in the oven, or you can saute them in a pan, have them ready to go. When you have your leftovers, put them in the refrigerator, and then take these, put them in any dish that you want later on. You can always throw some vegetables in just about any dish, whether it's a soup, a salad, a casserole, a stovetop, stir fry, any kind of meals like that.
April, those are some fantastic ideas. I'm loving this. As we wrap up, thank you so much. And I'm going to be able to share with you next time about all the things that I'm doing exactly what you did in the kitchen. Thank you so much, April.
To hear it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right. That will do it for this particular segment of Eat Right with Rouses. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming here on HTV.